119-113. Kings lose another one on the road. Not a good result. It left a sour taste in my mouth, man. But we got the film breakdown today, and I got my boys Vince Miracle and Javi Zaragoza to break it all down. How y'all doing? How you feeling? Because I'm not feeling very well. Vince?
I'm good, man. I'm broke even. You guys just got to see my excitement of my Rockets saving my life, and the refs tried to screw me over in this game. I'll be honest, with 0.4 left, so I'm feeling good.
And in that Kings game, because they gave away 4 free throws, down 5, they almost screwed up the whole spread right there.
Yeah, 0.4 left on the clock. They gave out 4 free throws while the Jazz were up by 5. That was scary, but I'm good, man. I'm good.
Javi, how you feeling, bro?
A sense of, what's the word that we want to use properly? A sense of fulfillment, but not in regards to feeling as if the Kings have fulfilled what we want, but a sense of filling out their ceiling with this roster. And I feel like we'll get into that more in depth in the show, but I feel like you guys seen, the short version of the ceiling of this particular roster at this time.
Wow, already, huh? Okay, well, let's get this popping, man. Javi, what was your biggest takeaway from today? Not 3, but just your overall biggest takeaway. You got 2 minutes, because then we'll just share it on to Vince. That way we just quick snap, and then we get to the film, and then we come back to everything to break it down more into depth.
De'Aaron Fox's muscle mass that he has added on, I feel like in all respects, might be a hindrance to his overall gameplay. That might be a stretch, but I can't see how through 7 games his scoring production slipped like this from a 25-point game score going into this season to now going scoreless in the first half, and him just shooting putrid from the perimeter. And most importantly, what's going to be needed to have this change? Because I'm more than perplexed by this performance, not just in the first half, but just his 7-game stretch. And I still believe in Fox, but what do you guys, as an audience, the fans that are listening, and obviously my 2 co-hosts, think is the issue? Because I can't figure out what it is from my takeaway of the night. Is something wrong with De'Aaron, or maybe just having a real awful, bad, more than putrid stretch to start the season this year?
Vince, what was your biggest takeaway?
I think my biggest takeaway was, again, the same exact thing. I think it's the biggest thing. It's the most obvious thing. It's exactly what Javi said. De'Aaron Fox is continuing to struggle. And when Davion Mitchell has to carry that scoring load over your number 1 guy, your franchise centerpiece, through that entire first half, I think he had, 12 points in the first 10 minutes of action, Davion Mitchell. I mean, that was the big boost for the relief for the Kings to stay in that game in that first quarter. So, I mean, I'm concerned now for Fox. I don't know if building up that mass, and maybe this is just something that we're building now in our heads because he is struggling about this mass, but I don't know if that has really slowed him down, because I feel like he's not exploding the way that we would normally see him, whether it's going in transition or coming down on a screen. We see him try to do it a couple of times when he did get that first shot to go down, but yeah, man, the struggles are real, and we're going to definitely need to see some improvement from number 5.
So for me, I'll push back a little bit. That wasn't my biggest takeaway or the most frustrating point for me, because I thought De'Aaron Fox had a good game today, believe it or not. He was +5 for the game, pretty much a double-double, 13-9, 3 steals, played his heart off, was doing other things to contribute to this team. We always talk about empty stats. I don't think Fox's stats were empty today. I truly don't. Did he struggle from the field? Absolutely. Is he continuing to struggle from beyond the arc? Absolutely. Is the added muscle mass a contributing factor? Absolutely. But what we also have to take into account is that he's also, as Damian Lillard, as James Harden, as all these really good players, they are adjusting to how the refs are calling this new NBA, where they allow a lot of physicality. Fox, multiple times today, he literally drove down, attacked, did not settle. And what do we get? We get no calls from him. A lot of contact. He got fouled right before he made that dive to the floor, which led it to a HB and 1 to end the half and give me my money because I had a money line first half. So he's doing his job. It's just that he's not shooting a high clip, right? That was my biggest. So my biggest takeaway was just the fact that Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert, they are a menace together, along with Donovan Mitchell as well. That pick and roll action with those three players, it's so hard to stop. And I got the film to prove it. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, like, you just got to tip your hat off, because if Mike is hitting, if Donovan's hitting these long-ass three-point shots, it's going to be hard to stop them regardless, because Gobert's screen assist ratio is always among the top around the NBA. The dude is a massive human being. It's hard to get around the guy. And when he rolls, he creates so much space for his guys. On top of Mitchell being so far away from the three-point line, he has a monster setting screens for him. And you have to respect the role as well. So we'll get into all that, man. But I want to hear who your MVP is for today, Vince Miracle. And that's the Medici MVP.
I'm going with Mike Conley. You can't pick a king in this one. It was a rough loss. If I had to say anybody, I guess it would probably be Rashawn Holmes. He played good defense down the stretch. Davion Mitchell, contributing factor there as well. But it's Mike Conley, man. The guy was hitting shots. The Kings kept going under on that Rudy Gobert screen and leaving him open, and he was knocking them things down. I believe he had 30 plus points tonight. So yeah, you got to tip the cap over to Mike Conley, because he was incredible tonight.
All right, Javi, who was your MVP tonight?
I think it's quite simple, and it's Rudy Gobert. 20 rebounds, dominated the boards. I mean, how many second chance opportunities did the Utah Jazz have tonight? Whether he had 12 points or not, the Kings were dominated in all facets of, any interior rebounding, defensively, offensively. Look at the box score. I mean, the Kings' leading rebounder, I think, had 10 rebounds. It was half of what they had in one player. I mean, Hassan Whiteside had 12 rebounds himself, and he played 15 minutes. Like, I don't see how, the rebounding totals aren't, the MVP for the Jazz, just for second chance opportunities. Again, Gobert played 33 minutes and had 20 points and 12 rebounds. Like, that, in all estimations, is the MVP for the Utah Jazz in this game, for the particular contest against the Sacramento Kings. Period.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, 15 offensive rebounds compared to the Kings' 6. Got out rebounded, was it 59-38? So yeah, Kings were definitely not crashing the boards and helping Rashawn Holmes or Alex Len down there. They were just getting boxed out and not going for that ball hard enough.
Why are we only playing 8 play? Never mind, we'll get into it. I don't understand why we're having an 8-man rotation. I don't understand that logic.
We'll get into that one. But let's move on to the 6 plays that we're breaking down, presented by Valley Tire Center. Again, huge shout out to them for always supporting the Cowboy Kingdom platform. They are great people, but let's get to it, man. So on this first possession, we see Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert. That combination is lethal. And as you see, it's not even a great screen, but because he generates so much space and Fox is already on his hip, it's just impossible to really stop, because then Rashawn has to step up. And guess what? When he steps up, it's wide open. Or even if he misses, Gobert is right there. And they did that all game long. Like, even this Mike 2 play, what they did a lot, which this highlight didn't show, which was about 5 seconds before, they always hump Buddy Hield, right? So they bring on the switch. And once he gets the switch, they call for the big man to come step up, hit the screen, and then Rashawn has to switch, because if he doesn't, it's a wide open 3. They tinker with this all game long. Literally, if they go under, guess what? He shoots the ball. That goes for Donovan Mitchell as well. It's just such a hard play to stop, because if both guys are on, you have to respect that role no matter what, right? And then on this switch, Rashawn did the best he could. But even if Mike misses a shot, Gobert grabs his damn rebound and he dunks it over Buddy Hield. That's just the way it is, man. So this was my biggest frustrating point, man, because they're great as it is. And then when you have the refs giving them every single 50-50 call, like challenges, and that was a clear foul on Rudy Gobert that could have potentially turned the whole game around on Buddy Hield. Like, he would have gone to the free throw line, made 2 free throws. But those are just some of my observations. Vince, any thoughts on this?
I mean, on this play right here, I think you guys see the time and score, and Mike Conley was hot. I'd fight over it. The thing I would do differently is I would have had Buddy Hield try and stay and fight over to stay with Mike Conley and know that Rashawn Holmes is the only big man to stay down there on Gobert, because no matter, as soon as he had that switch on Holmes, he was allowed to do whatever he wanted because he knew that Gobert had the
Yeah,
mismatch no matter
but
what.
but this is a great screen though, bro. So it's
It
like
is a great screen. So
it's hard to
keep
get over
fighting.
that though.
But Rashawn Holmes can't. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's hard to get over.
Right.
Rudy Gobert sets really hard screens, but you have to find a way to just show and start falling back. You can't have Rashawn Holmes out there
Yeah.
on the perimeter guarding the guard. I mean, they have no other big men out there. That's Harrison Barnes. If you're going to keep running this small ball set, which is the Kings' ideal lineup, is this lineup that's on the floor right now, you need to have a center down low guarding the 7-foot whatever guy, Gobert, who's been killing you on the boards all game. I'd rather see a jump shot than an easy two.
Right. And once again, you try to adjust and you put length on him, right? You put Mo out there and look, like it's the same exact result. Rudy Gobert creates so much space. This is called a screen assist. And now he's wide open. And when he's hitting shots, like you're at the Jazz's mercy, man. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. Any thoughts, Javi?
Why isn't Davion Mitchell in the game? Like, I don't understand that rhyme or reason. Why isn't Terrence Davis getting minutes? Like, again, I love Buddy, but we need to have a stop and get the ball back. Why isn't Davion Mitchell in the game? Like, and in the day, our best defensive threat in any
He was in the game down
capacity.
the stretch.
That's last clip we went over when they had Buddy, Harrison, Tyrese, De'Aaron, and Rashawn. Davion was not in the game. That's a position that Davion needs to be in the basketball game. We need a stop. That's De'Aaron, Tyrese in the interior, Rashawn and Buddy at
But
the
he
top,
came in
and that's
after this
Harrison on the
play,
perimeter.
though. And the reason
Well,
why,
that's
right,
possession
so
too late.
so do you take out Tyrese and put out Buddy for offense? Because it's hard to like
You
switch
take Buddy
guys
out
in
for
and out.
defense.
No,
You take
but
Buddy out for defense
sometimes,
possession,
but
and
no,
then
Javi, but sometimes there aren't dead balls. So you just can't
and call timeout.
put somebody in like that. So it truly comes down to this: do you play Tyrese or do you play Davion? Because Buddy Hield needs to be out there. Period. Offensively speaking. Period.
I mean, Davion had 18 points tonight. Buddy had
All right.
15.
So who do you have out there,
I
Vince?
don't see. Tyrese Halliburton needs to be off the floor if you're going to keep Buddy in.
Okay,
That's my opinion.
that's fair. Vince, go ahead.
I mean, I was just going to ask, who do you take off the court there? I mean, Davion was having an on night. I don't understand why he couldn't have got the opportunity a little bit earlier in the game, maybe in this fourth quarter, to do it. I mean, it just looked like you said, and we saw it multiple possessions where they were targeting Buddy Hield. And if we're going to talk about when the Jazz, during their last matchup, targeted Marvin Bagley, we got to do the same thing here. That's exactly what they were doing. They were looking for this switch, and it's just because they know that the Kings were switching everything that they needed to. So every time they set the screen, they were already winning. The Jazz already had the Kings exactly where they wanted them. But yeah, Davion Mitchell did have a good game. He could have been out there. He is the Kings' best defender. Problem is you're down and you need buckets and you need your best scorers out there. And even though Davion had 18, I'm gonna roll with the
Tyrese
guys
was
that I've
6
seen
of
do it more.
16 though. Tyrese was 6 of 16. He did shoot more, which I like because he needs to be assertive. He needs to be aggressive. He was 1 and 3 from beyond the arc, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 14 points. Like, I'm not mad at that, but like both of you said, Davion Mitchell, 7 and 15, 2 of 7 from beyond the arc, 18 points. And we see right here that he's starting to slow down, where he's not always sped up, right? And he just crosses him, and great drop off for Len. Just a beautiful play. The game is starting to slow down for him. So again, I think we all can agree that if we had to choose again, you can only have 3 guards out there, right? And I thought that Mitchell should have gone the nod over Tyrese today, but that's something that Luke is going to have to go back, watch the film. And again, it's not like Tyrese has to be out there, Davion has to be out there. It's, okay, who's having the better game today, right? Right, Javi?
I think that,
Yeah, but to further prove my point, so to speak, at that time I feel like they could have called timeout or whatever they had to do. It's just about you saying, oh, at that time they had to have, Buddy scoring ability on the court because obviously they're trying to get a stop but get points back to, cut the lead down. They're down 4 there. If they have Buddy off the floor and they have Davion to get the stop with Tyrese's defensive ability, whether you want to keep him in or not, I just feel like having Davion and Tyrese, you get the chance to get the stop and you call timeout there. But again, if you think, like, one of the fans said in the comment section, why is Mo starting? I'm not saying Mo Harkless is a bad start, but again, in all estimation, from what I've watched the 7 games, Tyrese Halliburton needs to be on the court. But if you want to have defensive presence, it has to be Davion. You say, well, take out Tyrese for Buddy. Well, then you lose offensive, the offensive firepower. But it wasn't about the offensive firepower. That needed to have consistent defensive tenacity and scheme, and most importantly, technique to get the stop to put his position to cut the lead to 2. That, I think, when it was at the 141 mark, put us in a big enough hole, per se, to where we're just going to have to play the foul game for the last minute and a half, in my estimation. But again, maybe that's just my perspective, a lot of subjectivity. I just feel like Davion gives us the biggest threat to get a stop in a crucial situation that none of the Kings previous to him have proven that they can do on a night in and night out basis. And that's based on facts and statistics, not based on opinion.
So on the second possession, talking about Davion and the tone that he sets, you can just tell, right? Like he is on him, on him, on him, right?
On screen right now,
right, and
Clarkson has nowhere to go,
right? And this just ignites it ignites everybody. Rashawn Holmes comes back into the play, swats it out. This is just great defense. Like the Kings have had so many good moments defensively. And once again, the biggest issue for me all season has been their offense, not their defense. Their offensive execution down the stretch is just stalled, man. And I know Javi's dad in here, Bass, he's always talking about 3-guard lineups not working. Well, please, Javi, tell him why 3-guard lineups do work in today's NBA. He literally wants Alex Len and Rashawn Holmes to be your starting center and power forward. Like, it's just not going to work.
Well, there's 2 things. Well, actually 3. The NBA is a positionalist league now, for one. That's one. Number 2, the best 5 players should be playing at once on your team. And Davion is in their top 5. I don't care what anybody else has to say. Number 3, everybody on the team in any good NBA franchise on a roster can shoot from the perimeter consistently. The Kings' best perimeter shooters outside of Rashawn Holmes all play the guard and forward position. Rashawn Holmes can't shoot the 3, so him being on the floor by himself, whether he can shoot it, whether he doesn't shoot it, whether he can or cannot, he does not display that. He's the only big, per se, you need to have on the court at a time, because if you can't shoot well from the perimeter in the NBA, you will not win games. Tyrese, Harrison, Buddy can all shoot well from the perimeter. Davion has proven he has in some respects. De'Aaron, You know what I'm trying to say? That my point is that between the Tyrese, Buddy, De'Aaron, Davion, 3 of them need to be on the court at any given time in crucial situations together with a combination of Harrison, Barnes, and Rashawn Holmes. Alex Len and having Rashawn Holmes, this isn't 2003. Like, we're not playing, big man basketball, body up to the paint or body up to the bucket, back to the basket. It isn't 2003 anymore. If you can't shoot from the perimeter, you cannot win this league. And that's not based on any subjective thought. That's based on proven statistics. So whoever thinks, the Kings are outreading about 59-38. Correct. That is correct. But that is not why they need to have a less than, add your premise of the 59-38 to have a less than, coherent idea of having a 3-guard lineup, because Davion still presents a better defensive matchup at any given juncture in the game, which creates a better defensive possession for the Kings, which leads to them having a less opportunistic chance to have the offensive rebound at that particular time. But correct, It's not even about, per se, the bigs. Rashawn has to be better, or they need to play Alex Len more instead of Rashawn, or that Tristan Thompson needs to be in. But to say Alex Len and Rashawn Holmes together are going to make the difference, well, then they're just going to get killed from the perimeter, because they both can't play wings and guards in the perimeter. And I don't want to hear talking about Rashawn can switch. If you tell me Alex Len and Rashawn Holmes can guard consistent guards and forwards and stop them from the 3-point line, you're just not watching the same basketball game that we are all watching.
Look at the Jazz. The Jazz's small forward, power forward combo is Royce O'Neal and Bogdanovich. How about we just give credit where credit is due? Rudy Gobert is a really good center in the
Right.
NBA.
100%.
And you know what I mean? Like Rashawn Holmes is good. And I mean, Javi, I don't know how much you've heard me on this take. I think Rashawn Holmes is a good center. I've always said that I don't believe he's the center for the Kings' future. I think there's definitely there's an upgrade that could be had there. In my eyes, the ideal situation for Rashawn Holmes, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I've been told I have bad takes at times. I think Rashawn Holmes is a super sub backup on any other team, on most teams, I should say. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing here is give credit where credit is due. Rudy Gobert is a top tier center in this league. The lineup that the Jazz had wasn't a big lineup. Bogdanovich is there for,
Right.
or Royce O'Neal is there for, however you want to look at it. When they brought in Hassan Whiteside, it stayed the exact same. It came in with
Yep.
Joe Ingles. So,
And that's what that's what this guy Bass doesn't understand. Like, these guys are running guards and wings all over the place, and they got one legit big. That's how you play today's NBA, whether you like it or not.
Ask
You
him
wanna see
this.
a
Ask
too
him this,
big-
Bass. Bass. Ask him this. Ask him this, Bass. How many times did the Utah Jazz play Hassan Whiteside and Rudy Gobert together?
Never.
Now wait. I know. That's
Never.
my point.
Right.
Never. So
if you want to
hear
see
that
two
nonsense.
bigs play, go watch the Pacers, go watch the Magic.
Yeah,
Again,
and
it's
just
all-
look at their
all those
records.
Yeah,
Go look
the
at their
Magic-
records. Go.
Yeah, thank you. Look at their records. But let's move on to Fox real fast, and it's a point that both Vince and I have been talking about in previous shows, and that's Fox playing off the ball but being a slasher. I keep saying this, and I'm going to say it again. Every time he cuts to the rack, he could easily be the best slasher in basketball because of his speed, although I'm still going to give that to Jimmy Butler because he is the best slasher, the best cutter in basketball. But this is there every single game, man. Great find by Holmes, and one. He gets the foul call, going downhill. This play is open for him all game long. If it's on the weak side or the strong side, this was the strong side where they started to play. You got to love that, man. And I just hope that he realizes that. It's not the sexy thing to do, honestly, because it takes a lot of energy. But if your three-point shot isn't on, hey, guess what? You got to do other things offensively to contribute. And these are one of the ways to do it. Tavi.
just got to find a way in any way, shape, or form at this time to just have consistent, and most importantly, productive usage to have De'Aaron's talent utilized, because having the ball in his hands at all times, I feel like, I don't say wears him out, but it becomes 1-on-5 or 5 out, or most importantly, that his game plan to stop De'Aaron. This makes it to where they can not per se, have him as the player who slips through the cracks, but again, they're focused on the ball handler, they're focused on the screen. De'Aaron does this back plant and then comes right back to the ball.
But this
nice
works. This works because Tyrese and Rashawn Holmes are so good together.
Pick and roll. Yes.
It's a great pick and roll. So that's what I'm saying. Where Fox doesn't have to be on the ball anymore, man. Like, you have a legit traditional big point guard in Tyrese Halliburton. So these are the areas of his game that he needs to work on and just go all in, man, because he has the athleticism, the strength now to finish. Like, you finishing over arguably the best rim protector in the NBA. The best rim protector in the NBA.
Yeah, bar none. Second to none. And again, if we can have him take that back pivot, and when he plants to get to the basket after they run that pick and roll action and Holmes feeds him in the interior, I mean, just think about the dynamic that they can create with just offensive options in any scheme that they more or less develop and design for him. Offensive concepts to have Tyrese be their primary ball handler and have De'Aaron just be, like you said, the consistent slashes to the cup when they take away the pick and roll or they're shooting back from the perimeter. It just creates a whole different dynamic offensively for the Kings.
Jason Anderson of the Sacramento Bee was talking about it during, I believe, halftime of this game. And I think it's a good question. Like, do you guys think Fox is kind of just forcing a lot of these shots to where that's even, like, just because he is struggling, that the shots, like, a lot of his shots have been on either on fadeaways, awkward, like, leans, or far more than his usual distance of his floater. He seems a little bit longer. And also, I think his handle just hasn't really been there yet. It could just be that, like, like I said, the 7-game woes. Like, no one's really worried about Damian Lillard's shot yet, right? Like, there's going to be a game where he explodes, but Do you think he's forcing it a little bit just because he is noticing all the backlash on Twitter right now and everything that's going on about just, hey, I'm struggling and I just got to keep shooting my way out of it?
I
He's
think a
not
lot
worried
of
about Twitter.
stars. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of stars are struggling. Like Davion is struggling, James is struggling.
Bradley Beal.
Like all like
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal is shooting the lowest 2-point field goal percentage of his career. So it's not just Fox, man. Like it's a
Trae
lot of
Young.
damn dudes. Trae Young, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Struggling.
a bunch of guys, man.
De'Aaron Fox, for one, is not worried about Twitter. If anything, it's I think he's pressing.
Twitch.
I don't think he's. Well, I don't think he worries about any social media. I think he worries about playing basketball and being, the best fiance and father, to his family. But I think he's pressing. I don't think he's forcing. I think he's just trying to put on more than maybe he has to. But I don't think he's ever stressed. I think because he believes in his ability and he's confident in his skill set, which I am. Again, I just think maybe he's taking a little bit longer to develop into his body frame to be that consistent playmaker that he was previous to his, increasing his muscle mass, because his body composition obviously is way different from what it was in May compared to what it is now. But that's not a bad thing. It's just something that I hope he can adjust to sooner rather than later, because, again, we go through Fox. Like, no matter how good Tyrese, Davion, no matter how good Harrison is, Rashawn, we go as far as Fox takes us. Until we have some type of move with our roster configuration, we'll go as far as De'Aaron takes us, and that's fact.
And as slow as the offense has been, again, this is just a question for me. As slow as the offense is continuing to start over these last couple games, do you think it might be time to consider starting Buddy over Tyrese, just to give even more room? No, you like him off the bench more? I mean,
if you're gonna make a roster change, it isn't Buddy to come off and start. Buddy's spark off the bench is something that we don't have. I mean, outside of him, who's a consistent, reliable scorer you have off the bench? Especially not playing Terrence.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that I think the biggest hole in this team, or on this team, I should say, is the fact that they only have two real shooters, which is Barnes and Buddy. They need another shooter, and Terrence Davis.
Why not?
You taking him out of the rotation really is a problem.
Okay, well, what do you think about this? Whether you think it's far-fetched or not, why don't you put Terrence Davis as your backup point with Buddy, start Davion, and then put Mo Harkless on the bench and play Harrison at the 4. And you have defensive stalwart, and I still think Davion rather can shoot well from the perimeter. And you have Davion, Tyrese.
What's the start?
You have De'Aaron, Davion, Tyrese at the 3, Harrison at the 4, and Rashawn Holmes at the 5, and Mo Harkless on the bench. You can shake your head, but they're 3 and 4, and they lost 2 straight. And when it came down to crunch time, it didn't handle business. And they start off slow. Davion don't know how to start off slow. Davion plays fast from the first minute to the last second of the game.
I mean, 3 and 4 through the first 7 games with this Kings schedule is really not that bad. But
I'm not saying it's that bad, but I'm saying, are we trying to just be okay? Or are we trying to make this 8 seed?
I mean, again, 3 and 4 through these first 7 games with one of the hardest schedules to have to start the season. I really don't think is something where that is. I'm going to get to what you're saying. I get that the starting Davion thing is like such a possibility with his defense, but you're going super small already, where we're having an issue seeing the Kings rebound the basketball right now against.
We're not rebounding with the size we have on the court now. So what's the difference?
So we're saying, okay, we're going to give up even more size and just because we're going to have more defense on the perimeter.
So we're getting outran by 20. What's going to be at 25 instead? So Davion's going to make a -5 in rebounding if he's on the court instead of Mo Harkless? I don't see the rhyme and reason behind that. I see our defensive plus minus is going to go up.
And then who is Halliburton? You think Halliburton's going to be able to defend most threes in the league?
You think he can't?
No, there's no way he can.
Well, I guess time will tell, right?
Yeah. Well, this segment of Breaking Down the 6 Plays was presented by Valley Tire Center. Let's transition into, I guess, what Javi was talking about, which was playing 8 guys. I personally love it, but I just want to hear the take from Javi.
I think it's quite simple. They have too much talent on that bench to be playing 8 guys, and I don't want to hear about the fit of Tristan Thompson or Terrence Davis. You don't give Terrence Davis a 2-year extension to not give many minutes. You don't trade for Tristan Thompson rather not play him. I know you're saying, yeah, it's going to be either Thompson or Len for the night. Well, I don't think they have the bodies and the skill set in regards to the talent level to only play 8 guys. But again, that's just my opinion. I just don't see the point of having Terrence Davis on his roster.
So do you play 9 guys?
I play 10. And even if it's not Tristan Thompson, why is it Metu not getting any minutes? Why is it Davion Jones not getting any minutes? I'm not saying they need to play 10, but they should. One of those three should be playing outside of Davis as the 9th and 10th man, respectively. Whether it's Davion, whether it's Metu, whether it's Tristan, and whether it's your man Bagley. One of them need to play some minutes at the backup.
Bagley's not getting no minutes.
Well, I know you're happy about that, but at the end of the day, the 8-man rotation is going to wear.
It's not that I'm happy. It's just that it's the right move. Period. Like he's not good. He's not good enough to be one of your best 9 guys. So
how did he go from being a starter last year to not even getting a minute in any
because
game?
The organization's agenda was to play the man. And I said this 1,000 times. I said if Luke Walton wants to start winning games, he will not play Bagley. I was on the record saying that. We had posts on Instagram. People thought I was crazy. Oh, another bad take. Look what happened. He benched him. They benched him. They made a huge deal out of it. Because he's not that good. Because he's not one of your best players. And he's never been one of your best players, period. Period.
What changed from then to now for them to...
The whole, he averages 14 and 7. He averages 14 and 7. Well, go back, watch the film, and tell me how he got those points. On a lot of nights, he got those points in garbage time. Both Vince and I have brought that up 1,000 times. Go watch him play. He doesn't impact winning, period.
Understood, but what I'm saying is, how did their mindset change from then to now to make him so he was going?
Because you want to win. What do you mean?
So they didn't want to win last year?
No, they didn't.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that, so my apologies.
Obviously, they didn't want to win last year because they kept playing him.
I wasn't aware. I was in the unknown of him having a alternate agenda to having the Kings not want to win, but having them play instead. I didn't know
Leo,
that.
you're wrong. They definitely did want to win last year. Last year was the first year for the chance of a play-in. They had a chance to do it. The problem, the thing that everyone keeps forgetting is that Bagley has left just a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth over there at the organization. The being injured and then like constantly saying he's still not ready to play, even though the doctors have cleared him to play. Things like that is going on. Then when he's on the court, the fact that he's taken the offense, the flow of the offense of what they're trying to run, and then calling his own number, basically making it an isolation play for him on the block. His play has not necessarily evolved at all. So if you're not going to be able to evolve into the offense that they're running, why play him? That's why you saw guys like Metu get a lot more minutes because Metu was still able
obviously,
to...
they wanted to play. I think people are taking that for literal term. Like, obviously, they wanted to win. But right, you're not good enough to win. But you're not good enough to win is what I meant if you play Bagley. Like, we all know that. You're playing Bagley because you're giving him those minutes because he was a number 2 pick. Make no mistake about it. Duh. Like, don't take that. Oh, Leo said they didn't want... Come on, man. Like I literally was a leader of the no tank crew. Stop.
Me too. I was right there with you. Don't forget.
Facts, but that's my point. Like, that's what I mean. They didn't want to win in the sense that they were handing this brother minutes because he was a number 2 pick. That is not acceptable, which is why you get, oh, Belly was a quitter or blah, blah, blah. Like not. Belly never quit on them. Belly was a better player. He's still the better player till today. Like, for all the Bagley supporters, how is it that a 19-year-old kid in Evan Mobley walks into the league already better than Marvin Bagley 6 games in? How does that happen? Easy. Some guys have it. Some guys don't. They made a mistake. Simple as that. You cut your losses. You don't just hand guys minutes. You're creating the wrong message. You're building the wrong culture. You have to allow guys to earn their time. Period, bro. And that's always been my take, and that will always be my take.
I don't know who keeps saying who's in the upper left over there. Sorry, I just found out that there's a button on this thing that we're using that allows me to see the chat. So I've been reading a bunch of these comments, and I see like Fox for Kyrie. I see sour taste in my mouth. I finally
do you trade Fox for Kyrie?
No. He's not even gonna report. He's got to go con El Lobo. He's not even gonna report. He's gonna retire.
Vince.
I'd rather go after Ben Simmons personally. I think but if the Kings really wanted to make the playoffs, there you go. I don't think you need to give up
Kyrie
Fox for
not
Kyrie though.
going to report.
I
Whether you
agree.
trade
No,
him or not, he's not coming
So,
to
so if he
Sacramento.
was vaccinated,
I
Javi,
agree.
do you pull the trigger?
He's retiring whether he's vaccinated or not. He's not going to play for the Kings. He's like, I'm not coming to Sacramento.
That's probably. I mean, that's probably.
He's
Do
going to
you
say I'm
make
going
the
to get
trade,
vaccinated
though?
and still not come to the Kings.
Player
He's
for
gonna say, "I'm gonna get
player,
vaccinated."
Javi,
What?
player for player.
Nope, I don't want him. I don't want him. He's
Do you
cancer,
think,
bro.
Okay.
He's a cancer, bro.
Let me ask
He's
you
a
this, though. Let me ask you this,
cancer.
though. I'm asking
I
you a
agree.
quick question,
I
real
agree.
quick.
I agree.
A quick question. Who's the better player, though?
Talent?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Kyrie Irving. But
Okay.
player, teammate, it's not even close. It's not even close, bro. Kyrie Irving's a cancer. It's always about
I
him.
agree.
It's always about Kyrie. It's not about the team. It's about poor me, Kyrie. I'm a millionaire and I'm still not happy with life. Man, all right, man. Give up that money. Go back and, go and don't play and go be mad at everybody. I don't care. Go talk about the earth is flat. I don't got time for that, man.
All right, question for Vince. So Bass, the guy on top is Vince, the guy on the bottom is Javi. Okay, I know you keep asking that question. How much of this slow start is on the coaching staff, Vince?
I mean, offensively, I think there's definitely room for improvement. I still don't like that we only run one set again. We're back to pick and roll, and everyone's waiting in the corner. We got to see a slash today, which actually made the highlight, which was nice. And we got to see someone penetrate the paint, and Davion Mitchell, who wasn't afraid, and it led to a nice Alex Len dump. I actually think we saw that in one of the 6 plays as well. Defensively, the Kings have been there. I mean, I put it more just on shots are still not falling. Fox has not found a shot. I mean, when Fox is able to run the floor and score baskets, it opens up more shots for everybody else because they're gonna crowd on him. Buddy extends the floor. Tyrese, when he's hitting his shots, can extend the floor. I mean, it's still only 7 games, guys. And the Kings are 3-4,
100%.
and again, they have one of the toughest schedules in the league right now. But yes, I mean, I will put
Vince
a
know
little
what
bit
he's
on the
talking
Kings.
about. He's correct on all of his takes.
Man, you got some support
Okay,
in here, man.
so
Who said that? Oh, let me see. Okay, your biggest hater is my biggest supporter. What's up?
So Goku, El Lobo says he would trade Davion for the kid from the Hawks. What's his name?
Oh, Cam Reddish.
Yeah,
You trade
Okay.
Davion for Cam Reddish?
that's what
Why?
El Lobo would do.
But why? Tell me why. Don't say that you would do it. Why would you do it? Explain why that makes any sense logistically when he's due for extension. Tell me why.
Facts. I wouldn't,
You're not
for the
going to pay
record.
him. For
For
what?
Davion, I probably
Davion's been in a
would.
rookie deal for 4 years. Huh?
For Davion, I wouldn't do that deal. I think Davion
Buddy?
showed too much
Yeah.
defensive potential. I think that I would try to do any type of deal that the Hawks just really don't need much else from the Kings. They already got Bogdanovich. They're not going to take Bagley. I mean, you'd have to give up Tyrese, and I still would rank Tyrese above Cam Reddish, even though Cam Reddish is a stud. He's defense. He can run the floor. I mean, he's basically he has the potential to be Will Barton 2.0. Like Cam Reddish is nice.
So Fox, Buddy,
Fox?
2 first-round picks, and 2 first-round picks for
my
Paul
gosh.
George and
What?
Reggie Jackson.
What is it? What is it?
So
why?
it's on the screen. Fox, Buddy, 2 picks for Paul George and
Why?
Reggie Jackson.
What do we? Why? Why?
I would do that in a heartbeat, yo. If they would actually take that deal, I would do that in a heartbeat. That would be
Why?
that would never happen. That would never happen.
But why? But why? What is it?
What do you mean why? Paul George is a superstar. De'Aaron Fox is a potential all-star. Paul George is a superstar. Reggie Jackson can play the point guard and they're best friends. That's why. That's if you want to make the playoffs, if you want to get out of this 15-year drought, Paul George is a superstar for the next 4 years still.
Okay. He's gonna say thanks, but no thanks.
But that's not the
I
question,
think
though.
That's not the question. I'm just
Would
going
you
off
do
of
it, Javi?
I'm not sure. I'd have to think it through. I would think through. I know Paul George becomes, poisonous pea in the playoffs, man.
Poisonous.
I know that.
Poisonous
Poisonous pea in the playoffs, man. I ain't never seen nobody change the way he changes his game from the regular season to the postseason. It's just preposterous to see how bad he
No,
plays.
he
Ugh.
backpacked the Clippers. He backpacked the Clippers to a Western Conference Finals last year.
He, I mean, that's completely subjective. But again,
No, I mean,
I
he
There was no
actually had a
Kawhi
good
Leonard.
playoff.
What
He
do you
actually had a
mean?
great
He
playoff series last year.
backpacked.
he did. But how
the
many
Clippers.
how many
Okay.
bad series has he had in the playoffs though? Let's count how many of those he had.
That's true.
Let's do that. Let's count that on our hands.
Let's talk about how when he was with the Pacers and was thought of as a number 2, took over the number 1 over Danny Granger, and just went 1-on-1 against LeBron James. That's where he started getting names. I mean, Paul George is a real player.
All right, so we're. I know Goku wants to call in. Go ahead, Goku. Click on that link. We're all able to hear you and talk to you now. He wants to come on and explain why Cam Reddish for Davion Mitchell is a good move.
Wait for Daryl Morey to cave and go get
no
Ben
way.
Simmons. That's what we need to do. Wait for Ben Simmons and Daryl Morey to say, you know what? It's time for you to go, Ben. I'm tired of this standoff. You're gone. Give me what you can. That's what the Kings need to do. Because it's going to happen.
Here we
I don't know
go.
when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen.
I'm nervous for these phone calls, to be honest with you.
Connor, give me a sec. Oh shit.
You think the Hawks would move DeAndre Hunter?
Did he hang up? I think you hung up, buddy. Let me put up a new.
By Hallie and Davion. That's a good question. Hey, Javi, do you think Fox will get passed up by Halliburton and or Davion?
GoCon.
No,
Okay.
no.
1 second, GoCon.
That was from Ryan Solemn.
I guess too.
No. And no.
All right, give me a sec, GoCon.
I'll be honest though, of the two, who do you think has the best potential to do it? A year of Halliburton and 7 games of Davion.
Are you on GoCon? Can you hear us?
Neither.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Where's your
Hello?
camera at?
How are you guys? All right?
Good, bro. Go ahead.
How are you? Well?
We're good.
Okay. The reason I said I'd trade Cam Reddish for Davion Mitchell, by the way, my accent's from Australia.
Oh, beautiful.
The reason I'll trade Davion for Cam Reddish is because the team doesn't have enough wings, and Cam Reddish is very good defensively. He's very athletic, and he can shoot the 3. And I think that would help the team a lot. What do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, Vince.
And he was really impressive in the playoffs last year, Cam Reddish.
You know, Cam Reddish is a stud, bro. Cam Reddish is a stud, bro. I'm not gonna say no to Cam Reddish being a good player. I don't know if his 3-point shot has really fully developed yet into saying that I believe he's a 3-point shooter, but he's definitely someone that can handle the basketball. Like I said, I believe he has the potential to be Will Barton 2.0, where it turns into defense and as another ball handler and could potentially even play point guard at times when needed. But Davion has shown too much defensive potential to where I'd want to go after a still undersized wing that is just now starting to break out. So you're giving up on a young talent you just drafted to get one that's still emerging right now, has lingering injury issues as well. We've seen it in his few seasons with the Hawks.
Right.
I don't know if I would do something like that, but
don't get me wrong.
That reminds me of Josh Lloyd.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I really like Davion. I think he's a phenomenal defender, but I just think he's a bit too small. Like, do you remember the other day how Luka was posting him up a couple of times, and Luka was laughing at him? I just think that we need more height, we need more length, and I think that Reddish would be perfect.
But you're giving up a lot of strength. Davion's really strong, and I don't know. I mean, have you seen Cam Reddish get posted as well? I mean, Cam has been posted on.
Yeah, of course.
The name Will Barton. He's been. I mean, I like watching the practices of the Hawks. You can watch that on YouTube, and Danilo Gallinari just bullies him all the time.
Right.
So
yeah. And I'm just. I was really a really big Fox guy. I thought he had a lot of potential. It's just been really disappointing this year. I don't know what it is. If he's injured, maybe rest him tomorrow. Maybe let him have a rest if he's injured. I don't know what's going on with him, guys. But at the start of the year, if you said to me Ben Simmons, I'd say hell no. But now I'll say hell yes. What do you guys say about that?
Javi, go ahead.
Javi.
Yeah, for Bagley, Hield, and few picks, yeah, but don't say De'Aaron's name in that transaction or Davion or Tyrese, and definitely not Harrison. So if we're talking about the same type of transaction I'm talking about, yes. You're talking about the four
Nah,
players
look,
to our team?
yeah.
No.
But if you think about it, look,
Here we
obviously
go.
Ben Simmons can't shoot. Yeah, he's never going to be able to shoot. But
He's gonna say my argument.
He's a great
Say my
defender.
argument.
He's a great defender. He's a great playmaker. I don't know. He's athletic. He's got height that we need as a team. And I don't know, man.
I know
Fox,
he ain't got no heart. I know he ain't got no heart. I know he ain't got the heart
That's
that
true.
De'Aaron Fox got.
That's true.
I know he ain't got the lift for Sacramento that De'Aaron Fox do. That's what I
But
do
sometimes a change of scenery is really good. And I think for both those guys,
I'm willing not to bet De'Aaron Fox's longevity in Sacramento on it though. I'm not.
I don't know,
be
man.
honest. I'm with you. I'm with you, Goku. I'm with you, bro. I'm a big. So I was the one who started the little poll that I got a bunch of hate on Twitter that said I would trade Fox. I would consider trading Fox straight up for Ben Simmons because then you get to keep your shooting that we thought we had. I mean, we're still lacking shooting right now away from Buddy Hield, but Ben Simmons guards 1 through 5. He has the potential to be the Kings' best player since Chris Webber. It really,
De'Aaron Fox is the Kings' best player since Chris Webber.
Ben Simmons is a better player than De'Aaron Fox.
Right now he is, but oh my.
Hey, Goku. Hey, Goku, man. Let me get this other guy on here. I really appreciate you always engaging with us, man, showing love as always, and it's awesome to see that you're from Australia, brother. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night, huh?
All right, brother. Be good, my man.
We'll talk to you soon, man. You have a good one.
All right, so let's bring in. Here we go. Connor, man. What's up, brother?
Yo, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing, man?
Good. How are you?
What's up, bro?
Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I was just pretty pissed off tonight after watching that game. I'm a huge Fox fan, and just watching him last year and compared to now, I just want to know what you guys think it is, like his off season, what he was doing, and going into this season, what his mindset was like. Just shit like that, you know.
Go ahead, Javi.
I think it's the body composition, the muscle mass increase. I don't know if he's fully fit into his body in regards to his skill set to how he played previous in his entirety of his career. I mean, looking at things logistically as a man, in regards to your physique, being a 4-year college football player, 4-year high school football player, I know that the muscle mass intake that you have for the better, for worse, in regards to increase and decrease will change your game. But football and basketball are played at 2 different speeds, 2 different levels. Most importantly, they're played in 2 different capacities. So I don't know how he's feeling because I don't know how basketball more or less translates with muscle mass. I know football, it helps you in every which way, whether I'm trying to catch ball, hash in the slot, because I play slot receiver, fend off tacklers, just be physical, tackle someone at special teams. Basketball is a whole different game. I just don't know, again, if that's the reason why it's affecting this game, but maybe it's his mental. I'm not sure. Luckily, it's 7 games through and not 27 games through. But, I think after the next 3 games, we'll see, where he's at through 10 games and reassess. But please, Vince, please, before you go on, stop spreading that just irrational narrative, that propaganda of Fox for Simmons, garbage. Stop saying that. And if you do, make sure I'm not on the podcast, all right? Thanks, guy.
Look. All I said I didn't even say I would. All I said is I would consider it. I didn't say
don't
I would
even
do
put it out there. Don't speak it into
it.
existence. Don't talk about it. For what? No.
Ben Simmons is a superstar type of player.
Good, and he has no heart, and he got no heart.
Heart doesn't win basketball games.
Then why do you want him so bad, Javi? Then why do you want him so bad?
Not for De'Aaron Fox, I don't. And who said Hart don't win basketball games? Go tell Kobe Bryant that Hart don't win basketball games, Vince.
Hard work played one of those games too, though.
Yeah, and that heart that he got. Heart, something you can't teach, man. It comes with inside, man. It comes with inside, man. You're either born with it or you're not. Yeah, that's facts, dog. You can laugh and scoff at it, but you can tell who plays sports and who doesn't.
Okay. You can come see me on a basketball court, bro. We'll see what happens.
You can see me on the football field. We'll see what's happening.
I'm not built for a football field, bro. I'll be honest.
I know, because you'll be on injury reserve in about 3 seconds.
I mean, I can. If we play on the line, I can probably get through it. I can get in the end
Yeah,
zone.
you
We
can
play
say
on the
what you
line.
want. I'm just about that action. You feel? I'll strap up. Just make sure you have your mouthpiece in, you little homie. You know what I'm saying?
That's all good. I got the cleats. I got
Have
the
your
mouthpiece. I'm ready
in,
to
man.
go.
Yeah, you gonna need that. Have your
I'm
cleats
ready.
tied up, chin strap buckle, homie.
I'm ready. I don't need the helmet.
Yeah,
I
I
don't need
hope
the
you.
helmet.
Hey, you
We'll just
better be
push.
ready.
We'll
You
go
gonna need to
shoulder.
be ready. You
I
gonna need
stay
to be
ready, so I
ready.
ain't gotta get ready.
it,
Yeah,
I
you gonna
man.
need to
stay
Love
be
ready, so I
it.
ain't
ready.
gotta get ready.
You
I
gonna need
stay
to be
ready, so I
ready.
ain't gotta get
Hey,
ready.
you gonna
I
need to be
stay
ready. You
ready,
talk
so I
Yo,
ain't
it's
about
gotta
funny.
get
nah,
ready.
Hey, it's
hey,
so
man, the
funny because
scholarship don't
both of
lie,
these
dog.
guys. It's so funny because Vince is like the biggest shit talker on the
Yeah.
court, and then Javi talks his shit too. So this would be a great
Hey,
collab
man.
on both. So if we do this, it'll
Hey,
be on the
man.
football field and on the basketball
Hey,
court.
man. The scholarship don't lie, dog. You know what I'm saying? The scholarship I had don't lie,
All-
dog.
Hey, look, I ain't even gonna front, bro. My football high school accolades are laughable, bro. I got credited on my max prep stats with a half a sack and a half a fumble recovery. They didn't even give me a full thing, bro. Like my stats is not solid.
All right, man.
But
Hey,
All right.
basketball court, I got
what's
you.
Connor,
I
man?
was gonna ask y'all one more question though.
Go ahead, bro.
Just wanted so get close to the deadline. What y'all think about Buddy and Bagley for Ben?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's
what I've
the
been saying,
ideal.
man.
That's the ideal trade. Again, I think the trade that's I guess rumored now. I mean, I hate when I do this, Leo, every single time. But when I had James Ham on the show on my show,
Yeah.
The King's Court, he said that the deal that the Kings should offer is Buddy Hield, Bagley, and 3 first-round picks
They've
or pick
offered that.
swaps.
They've
I
they've
like
Right,
offered
that.
that, but
it's something that the Sixers know is on the table,
they don't
but
want.
aren't willing to accept it.
Yeah.
But they ain't gonna get shit for Ben though.
Yeah, I mean,
All it takes is one. Hey, Connor, I'll say this. And I've
I'll,
said this 1,000 times. At the deadline, there will be a team like the Blazers who, again, are struggling. The Clippers are struggling. All it takes is one team to get desperate, who have a lot of expectations,
or the Pacers.
or the Pacers, to make that move, bro. And they'll give up whatever they got to give up. So if it's CJ, which makes the most sense logistically speaking out of the entire NBA,
No, that's facts. That's facts.
so
Malcolm
that's.
Brogdon and Karis LeVert with a
Oh
first
my
round pick
God!
for
You do that
Ben
in a
Simmons.
heartbeat if you're the Sixers. Like, why haven't the Sixers done that now? Are they stupid?
Because they're not getting that offer.
They
They're
are
not getting that
fucking stupid.
package.
I mean, the Pacers are waiting to see what they have here now with Rick Carlisle, so they're not doing it yet. But all the rumors, the rumors for considering from like the low post on ESPN and things like that is something the Pacers have considered is a Malcolm Brogdon, Miles Turner, or Karis LeVert.
If they offer that, it's a no-brainer for the Sixers. I mean, a no-brainer.
But you see how there's these other teams that have a lot of things that they're looking forward to down the season. Where
For sure.
the Kings, you would be making a trade to just get Buddy, a question mark in Bagley, and then rooting against the franchise where you're sending a defensive player of the year caliber, all-star player to, and just hope that it still doesn't work. You're just rooting against a different team when you're just trading for Buddy Hield in those picks.
All right. Hey, Connor, appreciate you, big dog.
All right, man.
All right, be good. All right, so here's a great one by Tyson Warren, Buddy Bagley and Thompson for Gallinari and Okongwu. Do you make this trade?
No. Gallinari is too old to be trading away Buddy, Bagley, and Thompson. And I get you probably like Okongwu. He's not even in the rotation right now.
Well, that team is deep.
Okay, so we're supposed to just assume that he's ready to go because we're trading away the Kings' best shooter and arguably the Kings' second best rebounder in Tristan Thompson for a Gallinari who probably only has a year or two left of being a good role player for a team and a guy we don't even know much about. You'd be restarting. You're going young with Davion Mitchell, him, Halliburton.
Do you go out and get a guy like Terrence Ross?
I'd rather have Buddy. I'd rather have that consistent shooter.
To like add Terrence Ross to Buddy Hield.
For what? I mean, I guess it would depend on the package. Then yeah, I mean, Terrence Ross is a bucket. I would for sure do that to add depth to the bench. Yes.
All right, so people want to see Bass, Javi's dad, in here. Go ahead and join the conversation, Bass. Vince's biggest fan. We'll give you one more shot.
Hey, bro, I'll take all the supporters I can get. You know what I mean?
We'll take this, or if Ryan wants to come in, man, but we'll take one more call. I appreciate everybody. It's been a fun show. We got some good social media clips there with Vince. Put the chin strap on, man. Oh man, you gotta love it. Thanks, Tristan. I keep telling these people the same thing. All right, Bass, come on in, buddy. The link's right there. And please don't put your face so close either.
I would do that in a heartbeat, Tyson. Bagley in 2 seconds for Ross ASAP. Let's do that. Yeah. That's a good one.
All right, so we got at his prime only of DeRozan. We got DeRozan before the Bulls. I didn't say I want to join. All right, so for the first time, Mr. Bass doesn't want to join. That's crazy talk. But any final thoughts, guys? I keep saying the same stuff. They don't listen. Well, we don't listen to nonsense, but that's just my take. We don't want 5 centers on the court, Bass. Come on, bro. Any final thoughts, Javi, Vince?
Let's get ready for this game against New Orleans tomorrow, the back-to-back, and see how we fend against the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, I feel like, is Zion back yet? No, he's going to be back for what?
No, he's
10,
not back
15
yet.
games? Got
Two more
foot
weeks.
injury, right?
Bass scared of his son. Bass is scared of Javi.
Oh, relax, guy. Relax. Relax, all right?
Any final thoughts, Vince?
Be ready for tomorrow.
I'm excited for tomorrow, man. I want to see how the Kings adjust to going from Rudy Gobert to now going up against a guy like Jonas Valanciunas, who is having himself a season right now. Brandon Ingram, I believe, is sitting on the front end on the back-to-back, so I believe he's going to enter this game. Other than being doubtful, he will be questionable to be playing against the Kings and Golden One Center. And yeah, they're both coming in on a back-to-back night, and the Pelicans gave up a big lead to lose today to the Suns, so they're going to be coming out hungry or tired. We're gonna find
and they
out.
did not cover your spread, bro. That was disgusting.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
Man, that's
I had
tough.
11. They lost by 12.
That hurts.
And Chris Paul gets like 20 assists. I think 8 of them were in the fourth quarter, bro.
Hey, man. Well, I appreciate everybody. Shout out to Medici. Shout out to Valley Tire Center. Shout out to J-Lab Audio, man, for these awesome headphones. We got the mics in the back as well. I still got to use them, but shout out to them. If y'all want to get some of these headphones, use code CK15 to get 15% off your purchase. They're pretty good, I ain't gonna lie. Bluetooth, got the headphones, got the little AirPods, but like their version, J-Lab Audio. That's going to do it, y'all. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to Vince. Thanks to Javi. It was a fun show. I'm sure it would have been a little bit more positive if they would have came up with the win, but the Jazz are a great team, best team in the conference, contender, man. That's going to do it, y'all. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Peace.
Get the win again.